So this will be my spoiler review for the Morbius movie. So this will be spoiler-filled about the events of the Morbius movies. Who do not watch if you do care about the spoilers for this movie. So if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. So again, just like I said in the non-spoilery review, I did not hate this movie. I really did not hate this movie, but I will go over exactly what I liked and what I did not like about this movie. So at the beginning of the movie, I hate the trope of a time jump, in my opinion, especially if it's just a random new standalone movie, and I feel like the time jump wasn't really, either it didn't make sense or it wasn't really as justified. So at the beginning where they cut the 25 years earlier, it didn't make sense to me. Like, someone needs to explain to me why that 25 years earlier scene couldn't have just become couldn't have just been at the beginning of the movie before anything. It would have made a lot more sense if they had that scene at the beginning of the movie and then jumped to 25 years later when Morbius is going to the cave with the vampire bats and stuff like that. Like, it just didn't make sense to do that jump backward, in my opinion. It just didn't make sense. Venom 1 did something kind of similar, but I didn't think what Venom 1 did was earned either, where they did like the 6-month forward jump. It just felt out of place to me in that movie too. The only movie that I can think of off the top of my head where it truly works would be like the 5-year time jump in Avengers Endgame, because we're already invested in the story of Avengers Endgame because it's a culmination of all the stories over 10 years of movies. So we're already invested in that story and we're familiar with it. So a time jump is more warranted. It's not a standalone thing. So then some parts of the movie kind of seem weird that are unexplained when you sit and think about it, such as like Milo. He's just like rich and they never really explained why, but it's not really too detrimental to the story in my opinion. The CGI fights generally I thought were really good, especially the fight on the ship. That was probably the best fight in the movie to me. I thought the way that they went about just filming it in general was cool, with the camera work being unique in my opinion in comparison to the rest of the film. Like, we got to see the POV of Morbius hunting these people down, and then we were the POV of one of the victims being eaten by Morbius, and then like blood splattered on the camera. I just thought that entire sequence was really cool. The reveal of Milo being a vampire later on in the movie, I didn't think was a bad reveal, although I do think the whole polar opposite villain trope is kind of tiring at this point, because they've done it with Venom 1 and 2. Obviously, Carnage is kind of a different case, but still, they've done basically that same plot with Venom 1 and 2, and now they're doing it with Morbius. I just think that trope needs to take a break from movies in general, not just all these Sony movies. And then further on in the movie, the romantic plot between Morbius and the doctor, I honestly forget her name, but the doctor who helps assist him, in my opinion, it felt very forced when it actually like became a thing on screen, just because I just didn't think any romantic plot point was handled well at all. I don't think so. I felt as though the kiss between them came out of nowhere just for the sake of having a romance. It just felt awkward. I definitely think the actor who played Milo, though, Matt Smith, I definitely think he was the best part of the movie easily. He was really good. The scenes with him were really funny, like when he had like the cringy dance in the mirror akin to Spider-Man 3. I laughed at that, not obviously because, like, I don't know. So it's like the same type of situation with Spider-Man 3. It's like, in my opinion, it's satirical. Like, it's not supposed to make us believe that the person is actually cool. It's supposed to be a cringy type of humor where it's like they think they're cool, but it's just kind of like they kind of seem foolish type deal. That's how that scene made to me when he was like dancing in the mirror. So I honestly thought it was pretty funny. The final fight felt very lackluster in my opinion, especially in comparison to like the original fight on the ship when they first showcased his powers. And it just kind of fell flat to me. There were some cool moments, there definitely were, but overall the CGI felt unclear and kind of jumbled, almost as if to hide bad VFX, or simply because they didn't even know what they wanted to do in the fight either. It was very hard to follow some parts of the final fight. And then his love interest at the very end becoming a vampire it was smart, honestly, in my opinion. It was well inferred from the beginning of the movie when Morbius had created 2 other serums for the vampirism, and clearly Milo took one of them to give to himself, so Milo must have also took the second one, and when he was like holding her hostage, he must have stabbed her with it when he captured her. So I think that honestly made sense, and I think it was able to be well inferred without thinking too much about it. And then, the post-credit scenes, although they're cool for the build-up, right, it didn't make any sense. Adrian Toomes got pulled into this Venomverse when he shouldn't have, according to the spell by Doctor Strange. He just shouldn't have. Although the Vulture's new outfit with the Vulture mask is really cool to me because it just looks more Vulture-like with the way it's like the mask has more of like a beak shape to it. So I mean, like I said, the post-credit scene though, cool for the build-up, sure, but it didn't make any sense whatsoever. Overall, I give the movie a 6.5 out of 10. The only thing that might save this Venomverse, in my opinion, will be establishing that this is in the same universe as the Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield. I feel like that's the only thing that is going to save this universe, so that way we can finally have a build-up to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man fighting the Sinister-Six like we got teased all those years ago with the Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I digress. If you've seen the movie, comment down below and tell me if you liked it or not. And if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. And I appreciate you for watching the video.